Hey guys, welcome back to Vintage Vibes. This video today is about my craft fair 2024 recap, about some do's, don'ts, and tips of things that I do that might be helpful. It's Thursday the 20th and it's around 4:20, and just a little quick update. I've been sick, had a bacterial infection I got from a bug bite, some kind of bite. I'm not sure what it was. Had that pretty good 4 or 5 days, and then I got sinus infection on top of that, with turned into like a bronchial infection. So I'm doing a lot better, and we'll have some ice storm and snow coming in here today and tomorrow, and so hopefully that will move out. And Jaden's gonna have his little surgery on Thursday on his little feet and his little tibias. If y'all would say a prayer for him, I would appreciate that. So let's kind of jump into the craft fair. I think first of all, I kind of want to show you the recap, and then I'm going to kind of talk about some things, give you some tips and ideas, and kind of what worked for me and what didn't. So it's good to be back on here. Thank y'all for coming to my channel, hanging out with me. Welcome to all the new subscribers that I've gotten. I really appreciate that. I'm not really trying to grow my channel with that. I'm just trying to be an encourager and trying to inspire people. But anyway, so let's jump in. So these were my cup cozies that we made, and I sold, let me talk about, I got my little list here because I want to kind of go through it. So but anyway, these we had 20, and we sold let's see, 10, because I had 10 left, and I just sold them for $5 each. So they did pretty well. They're real nice, and so anyway, so we got those, and I just put them on this little holder. We're not going to talk about all that, like the little things, but I just added a couple little cutesy paper clips on there. But those sold really well. And the crazy part about the craft fair this year is I sold a lot of things, like different things. Like it wasn't a lot of one thing as much as it was another, or it was just kind of like the day was just really kind of randomly busy. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but this was my best year yet. And I don't know price, and if y'all care about me telling you how much I made or not, I don't mind sharing that. This year I made $602, and that's pretty good for a craft fair for a day to me. So anyway, so these sold really well at the craft fair. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about is these little Ghirardelli candy packs. Okay, and I had 24 of these. I hope y'all can see that through that. I can probably take one of them out, and we've already taken out the candy. But I had them in these cute little bags. I took the candy out and just gave it to my kids, and we just ate those because I didn't want them to go bad or anything. But this had the little tag on it that I had made, put on it. It's really cute, and there's like, it's like double-sided, so the little tag, I think this was kind of the front piece. But anyway, so that's what that looked like, and it had a Ghirardelli chocolate on both sides. And on that part, we started with 24, and I had 11 left, so that's pretty good for those. And they weren't selling at first, but I had to kind of move them around to the front where people can see, because that place, it was so busy. There were so many people, but it just really worked out really well. Now, my chapstick holders, I've had these for a few years. When I first started my craft fair, these are just kind of some of the ones, and I've had to change out chapsticks. And I always put what it is on the back, so they'll know what flavor is in there. But we're not going to really spend a lot of time on this, talking about it. But anyway, but they're really adorable and they're really cute. And I'm just trying to sell out the ones I have because the first year I made them, they sold out within. One lady come in and took the whole lot. I had one left and literally gave it to a young lady at the end of my craft fair. But the last couple of years I've been doing it, it's kind of been hit and miss. I've sold a few here, sold a few there, but this year I had 8 left and I sold 2. So, but changed the chapstick out, you know, because we don't want to get nobody sick or nothing like that. So we're trying not to do that. But yeah, but that's what that was about. So it just really depends randomly, you know, on your items. Okay. The next thing was the Santa pencils. Now look, these are so stinking cute. I don't even know how you wouldn't even fall in love with that little thing. I ended up didn't sell any this year. The last year I sold a pretty good many. This year I didn't sell any, and I just ended up giving one away. So that's what that was about. But I'm not giving up on these. I like them. So I'm going to kind of just keep some of those around for a while. The magnets, I had a bunch of these left over from a couple of years. I've been selling them over a couple of years. I have one lady that literally comes and she buys them. She loves them so much. But we made a bunch of these, and but this one's kind of got a bunch of glue around it, so I just want to keep having on my refrigerator, because usually if it looks kind of shoddy already, I'll kind of just keep it myself. But I sold 10 of these this year, which turned out good. I was happy about that. And then the vintage Christmas journals that I made, that are like these. I'm not going to open it or anything. We're not really going to make a long video, but I had 4 and I sold 2 of them. I was very happy about those. They're really nice. And the one that got me the most was this Santa's a little more, he looks vintage. He looks real cheery, but the other one was more vintage looking. So they gravitated toward that one more than this Santa, which was kind of strange because a lot of people I've seen this year walking around had this Santa on their shirts or sweatshirts. So I thought, well, okay. But anyway, I did sell 2, so that was good. I'll have a couple for next year. Okay. Prayer journals. Oh my word, let's talk about that for a minute. This is one of my samples that I keep around. Okay. And I literally had, and only had time to make, let's see, where was I? 5. I sold every one of those, y'all. I know 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes at the best, like literally. Like I had one wave come through and bought 2 or 3, then I had the other one, the second wave, and it was in the first like 45 minutes, literally around 30 minutes. I'm not kidding. That fast they went, and I wished I'd have had time to make more of these. I don't know if I have showed y'all these or not, or if I had time to make a video, but when I get time I will, I'm going to make some more. But these turned out really nice, and they had the little pull tab and just different things. Are really cute. I mean, and the ones I sold weren't even with this paper, it was with other paper. This is just a little summer one. So anyway, but yeah, these are nice, and they literally sold out, so next year I'll be this year at the end of the year I'll have extras of these. So, but it may be one of those things, they may not do anything, so it just depends. Okay. I'm so sorry. So next we're going to talk about the vintage Christmas notebooks, bestseller, one of my best ones this year. Okay, that's just those Jot notebooks, and I ran out of things to put them in, so I had to scramble. Of course, you got to have ones about this size, but this is a little Santa pen, the little candy cane pen, and then, and I put those little bells, and put that little candy cane story, and I had to kind of cut that down because it was real big, and I wanted some of the little notebook to show. because on the back of these, it has like little stickers that match. But, anyway, I ended up putting the little ribbon through it, because these don't really fit with the pins. I mean, they really don't go in the slots very good. So I had to end up coming with that. But these literally, I'm not real sure. I'm trying to remember how many I made of those notebooks. Let's see. Did I made 15? Okay. I made 15 and I sold 12. So, yeah, so I still have 3 left. And I gave one away for my giveaway too, because we do little door prizes there. But yeah, so I sold a lot of these. Like, they went really quick too. Okay. And then my next thing, the mini notebooks. Now, these were, these have always been like a topic of mine. Okay, now look how cute. That is so stinking cute. Why would you not want that? But anyway, so I talked about it in one of my other videos, how I had to, the first year I couldn't hardly sell them, and the second time I wrapped the twine around them and put little different things on them, and they sold really well. And then this year I had a ton of these things, and I had a bunch, like, I don't even know, but I think I had like 30 of these, close to 30, 29 or 30, and I think I literally sold 5 or 6 this year. So I'm telling you, it depends on the year, okay? So that depends on the year with anything. So that's another thing. And then I had the summer journal that I thought was so sweet. Did not sell any of those. They weren't interested in looking at nothing summer hardly this year. It's just one of those hit and miss type things. I made the videos on these. So yes, I will eventually sell these. But, they were looking more for Christmas items this year and more for, things to give away for Christmas. Okay, so they, but anyway, but they were interested. They picked it up. They kept flipping through, blah, 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 blah. So you never know. They may come back next year and say, hey, I need one of those. Okay. All right, let's talk about my Christmas tag booklets. All right. I took 10. I sold 5. Okay, so that was good for me. So I have some for next year. Yes. And also, and we'll get into this subject in a minute, but I heard some of my customers might, well, if you had it in this paper, oh, I want one in this paper. And, so you got to kind of, that's something we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm going to dig into that just yet, because I don't want to kind of get into that topic yet. Also, now this was what was crazy that I found out. All right, so here is my beaded pins, okay? Let's talk about this for a minute. Now, look. Everybody, there was tons of people in this world that sell beaded pins, okay? Tons. I just did them because I thought they were cute. I wasn't trying to make, trying to do a whole thing on beaded pins or whatever, because I'm more into the paper crafting side. But, however, I added my touch to it for my paper. Okay, well, so I had 3 different kinds, and I have the ones like this that have no charms with them. Okay, I sold 6. Okay, and so there's like there's different colors, and I do add a refillable to mine. Okay, so those are they were kind of like this. Okay, so those like that. Okay, so I sold 6 like that. All right, and then I had some, let's see, Christmas ones that were really, so I thought they were really cute. And look, I put that little tag topper on there because I have these little baggies things I used. And it was so sweet. It had that little tree, and I put my own little topper and the little donut sticker thing that I had. Okay. I sold one of those. Okay, one. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Okay. Now, look at these. These are precious. Now, these were my coffee pens. I sold 3, literally sold 3. Okay, now look how sweet that is. I put that little topper on there, the little dangle thing. They had little charms on them. I mean, those are precious. They're precious. They're so precious. They had little charms, all that. You know, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, they're really cute. But let's talk about these. I sold 3. Now, they told me when they got around to my booth, because literally there was booths on one side before you got all the way down to the middle of the other side of the building. Well, I was kind of like in the middle, okay, of the building, whatever. But there was people selling these beaded pens, I guess, before they got to me, because they were telling me that mine were less money and looked better quality. But they'd already bought some at another, so they didn't want to buy any more, okay? So hopefully this year, they'll remember that I have some beaded pens, because I'm, have some left. Okay, so I said, well, okay, I'm sorry, so, but that's kind of was the story of the beaded pens, okay? I didn't get to make my beaded keychains. My monthly planners, I had 16 of these. And, I made, let's see, how many did I make? I made 16. I had 18. I made 16. I sold 12 because I gave one to my friend for Christmas, one to my son, one to my sister, and I kept one for myself. So I literally sold 12 of these monthly planners, and usually I try not to make more than anywhere from 15 to 20. Usually 16 to 18 is a good number, and I usually sell just about all of them. So yes, and they were very picky, and they kind of went through them and took, but for the most part, all the different ones I had sold, which I love that because I sell on these every year really well. Okay, so that's what that was. And then the next thing is my shopping list holder. Let's talk about that for just a moment. Okay, that's what this is. All the shopping list holders. Okay. So I sold 6. I made 10 and I sold 6. Okay. The very first one to go was the cute little farm one. And this is my sample that I always keep for myself. But it's so funny, that this lady, she came over, like she was in the building and she had a booth, and she's like, I want that one. I says, that's the only one I have. And literally, because I had it out front, in the front of the other ones, in the little basket or whatever. And she says, I got to get that. I'm coming to get, she says, I need that. And I was like, okay, well, if you want it, you need to get it. Like, 'cause it's not going to be here. I just have a feeling this is going to be one of my first ones to go. And she's like, well, I'll come back in a little while and get it. I said, I'm telling you, it's not going to be here. Because I don't hold things like that for people, because they usually will say that and then they don't come back. I've had people do that. So, and y'all, I'm not playing. Like, as soon as they opened those doors and then people started coming through there, and she came back, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour and a half later, it was gone. And she said, where is my shopping list holder? I said, I tried to tell you to come right back and get it. I was like, I can make you one if you're serious about, she wanted to do it for a Christmas present from somebody. Well, I said, if you're serious about it, I gave her my card and my number. I said, you'll have a couple of days, I can make you one. But I still have paper left. I said, but if you don't call me, because it's right before Christmas. I said, I need it because I have to do it before this time. And she never called me, but so I don't know. I don't think she was serious about it. But anyway, but that's okay. I don't care. But that was fine. But anyway, she didn't call me or anything on that. But okay, and here's another thing. But yeah, I sold them. My double-sided notebooks. I literally had, I think, 30 of these. Because I sold 18. I have 12 left. And this is not part of the 12. This is my sample. But yes, these sell really well. These are really good sellers. So I sold those. Okay. And then, I'm so sorry. I'm truly trying not. The more I talk, the more coughing I get doing. This is kind of the thing that's left over, is the lingering kind of cough thing. But anyway, on my memory storyboards, I was a little skeptical about these this year selling. However, I had 10, and they once I started talking about them, they were interested. They were coming to get them. Like, I had a lot of nice things. I had them packaged up really well. And I think next year I'll probably try to put a little something at the top of this. But I sold, here it says I had 7 left, but I sold 4, so. And I've only counted like 6, so I think I sold 4. Okay, I'm very sorry. I'm almost trying to talk too much today. But anyway, so these are really nice, and I know I sold 4. But anyway, so yeah, these worked out well. So I will take them back at the end of this year, because I have some left. So it just, like I said, depends on the crowd. Okay, the next thing, I'm going to try to get to this part. Okay, is the vintage stationery journals. Okay, I didn't sell any of these this year at all. Or, well, let's see. I had 2 left. No, I didn't sell any of those this year. Because I sold one prior the last year. I didn't sell any of these this year. They were not like looking for that at all, but that's fine. This one's my sample, and I have 1 left, so I will be taking it back. I'm not going to give up on it. Okay, now this was weird. This here, my paperclip holders, I thought those were so pretty. I made that paperclip holder, that little packaging and everything. Last year, I didn't sell any of those. This year, I sold 1. No, I sold 4. Because I started showing people, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about that. Just give me a minute. I sold 4 this year, so don't give up on your things, okay? My summer cards, I thought they were really pretty. Like I said, they weren't into, you know, summer things or summer cards or whatever. These are ones I've made. They're beautiful. I sold 1, okay? So 1 of those. And then these little summer little girl notebooks with the scented pens. And I laminated these. I cut all this paper from a paper I had, okay? I literally, it's got that little scented pen on it, you know, and I, you know, laminated the front and back cover. All this copy paper. I put all these little cute little pages in between. And this is something that kind of like, one year I was selling these and people thought that I bought these made like this. I was like, no, I put that together. I did the corner. I made all this. So yeah. So this year, I sold 2 this year of these. Okay. Now, my Santa buttons, I think I sold a couple of those, but I had to come down to 50 cents each. I didn't bring one in here with me. That's okay. And the last thing, kind of that I had on my table, I didn't even get to put the clearance. I had some clearance out, but they didn't really gravitate toward that this year. I don't think I even put a lot out. Like, I don't even know. Like, you know, I had it off to the side. So really, and it was just so busy, and there was so many things I had. But but once their eye caught something, they went straight to it. My Christmas card gift tag holders, I sold 2 of these this year. Let's say 4 actually. Wait, I think I sold 4 actually. Okay, I have to go back and count those, but I know I sold 2 to 4. But anyway, and that was when I started kind of picking them up and saying, "Hey, have you seen these?" Or what type thing. Okay, so that is all of those little products, and so I did really well this year. I was very excited about that. And you know, if we sell anything, it's you know, it's like a pleasure. It's like you're excited about selling your things. You know, you get excited about it. Okay, now this is something that I kind of hopefully I can talk about it and I can get through it without you know, like coughing a lot. Okay, because I don't want to do that. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk to you about crafting. Like, you know, we all know, and I'm gonna put this back on my table. I'm hoping that it will get a good little picture this year time around wherever. Yeah, so anyway, so let's talk about some do's, don'ts, and kind of tip things, okay, for just a minute. Okay, let me make sure this thing's still going. Okay, I'm not gonna try to be long. Okay, so crafting, we know it's a lot of work. You're gonna understand that when you're selling your items, you're not, you know, you're not going to like get your money's worth, like your time, to me, out of it. Your like my first year, my expectations were kind of high, but not really high, because I wasn't sure how it would do my product, because I was new and it was the first time putting stuff out there. And you got to love your things. You got to find your own love for your product, like your crafting. You got to be proud of it. You got to have your own little niche or brand, something that no one else is kind of doing. Okay, I figured out that really quick my first year, because I noticed there was a lot of people around us that were like selling clothes, and they weren't making them, they were just selling them. And some of the craft fairs I go to now, well, I only do one now, but they like want you to have handmade items only. Okay, but a lot of them, you know, they have people come in who buy things already pre-made and they sell them. Well, and so you know, so that was something I kind of seen. And but you got to make sure your things, you know, will sell. Okay, now and this is another thing, like, and you may not have a channel, or you may not do YouTube, or you may watch a lot of videos and different things, and a lot of people, some channels, like, you'll see something and there is wonderful product and it's pretty and it's great. Okay, but just because it looks great on someone else's channel doesn't mean it's going to work for your craft fair or my craft fair, because every area and people are so different. Okay, you know, because there's so many different types of people in the world, and a very diverse world, and different things. So and this is kind of like my second tip. Don't compare your craft to other people, like because, you know, and there's tons, and in my area nobody does this. Like, nobody sells any paper crafting things here. Like, nobody does. I've seen people like selling the stickers, and, you know, they're doing the Cricut things where they print off the things to put on your shirts and different things. They have all that, but I'm not into that. I have a Cricut. I've only used it one time, and I use it for my kids at church to make t-shirts for our program, but I want to get into using my Cricut more. But as I see, everybody's on that bandwagon is what I want to call it. So I'm not going to put myself in that position to where I'm spending a lot of money and it's not working for me. I figured out what has worked for me. Okay, and like I said, another tip, number 3, is realize that sometimes you may sell one thing one year and the next year or two it may not. Don't give up on it, okay? And if I see something that don't work, or it's not catching on, or it's just not usable, like that's something that they cannot use it. If it's something that's not usable for people, then I'm not going to make it or sell it, because yes, we can all make cute little envelope things and, you know, make things to send out for Happy Mails or to our friends, our crafty friends, or different things. But some people will walk up and say, well, what is this? I don't know what this is. What am I going, what am I going to do with this? So they're going to have that look about them. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this type thing? But don't give up on your product. Know what works for and it may take time for your items to catch on. If you're first year, just like me, I had to build my customer base. But my first year, I did a craft fair, and literally it was storming, it was raining, it was horrible, and I still made $220 something, I think. And I had some different items, like I had, and every year, and that's something else in a minute I'm going to talk about. And some things sold, some things didn't, and they were really pretty and they were really cute, and I was like, and that's going back to, just because it works for other people on their craft fairs, it didn't for mine, because I made the cutest, stinkingest cocoa packs. I didn't sell any at first, and they were like $4 each. And then I come down to $3 each. And by the end of the day, I might have sold 5 of those things. And I ended up taking them to the school for my baby. And he handed out the ones I had left to all his classmates for Christmas, because I didn't sell them. And they were so cute. And it didn't disappoint me. It was a little, you know, on the fact, I just thought they were so cute. But what I think is cute may not be relevant to someone else, okay? Now, number 4, get to know your customers and the audience around you. Okay. People are looking for certain items when they come to these craft fairs, okay? And I've watched people, and I've learned from this. If you are sitting in your chair and not talking to people, you're not selling. Okay, I found out early on, you have to stay on your feet the whole entire time. My friend, Miss Cat, when she was by me the first year we was together, she literally acted like she was a customer on my side of the table to draw people in, and I did the same thing. And I think because we did so well, as we were by the Loaded Tea station, and people were lining up, y'all, paying for loaded teas, $8 a piece, and you trying to sell $2 and $3, $4, $5 items, and they weren't even like, oh, well, we got to think about that, you know, type thing. And you're like, and you're thinking, well, you just paid $8 for a load of tea. That's my example. Yes, because they're looking for those, okay? And I was glad that we were by the Loaded Tea station that year. So the next year we said, we want back by the Loaded Tea station. I mean, literally, because we didn't know, you know, we didn't know. But anyway, you've got to discuss things. You have to engage people, and you have to listen to your customers, okay? You have to, like, if anybody, let me tell you, if they would even glance my way this year, like even be, because most time they're walking through with tons of people, they're pushing, there's people walking through, they're just going fast or stop. But if one person would have looked my way or something, or I was like, hey, you seen this? Blah, blah, blah. I would have pulled them in and I would say, hey, these are all handmade items right off the bat. I have 2 signs on my table that say that, but you still have to tell them because they believe some of this stuff is bought and resold. Okay. Now, yes, you have to get to know your customers. You have to listen to them. Like if they say things like, well, I wish you had this, or I wish you had that, or I wish it was in this paper, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you it's going to be in that paper next year because I'll write notes and I'll make notes along the way. Like I'll think about it and I'll go back to it and I'll address it. Yes. And if they want it, they'll get it. They'll come back and get it. I'm listening. I'm researching. I'm paying attention to them. Now, every year, bring 1 to 2 items new to your craft fair every year. You know, make it engaging, make it interesting, make them, oh, they're looking for the next best thing, because they're always looking for the next best thing. People are, you know, love what you do what you love, keep up with some of the trends. However, don't compromise on your creative talent or your niche or your brand. It should also be enjoyable. It is a lot of work. We're going to get out what we put into it, okay? Now, you will never, like I said earlier, get paid for your time. It does not matter. This is a craft fair. They are looking for good quality items for low budget, for low money, okay? And sometimes you have to come down on your prices. Sometimes if you're not seeing something move, come down 50 cents, come down $1 or $2. It will be fine because most likely you're going to bring it home and it's going to sit there, okay? For me, I'd rather sell it and move on and make something else. At least I've made some money off of it, okay? Because most of the time, most of my things I buy is usually on clearance. I try my best to clearance shop as much as I can. Now, the time-wise, there's hours and hours that go into paper crafting. It is a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart, but I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. And make sure your product is a good product, that it's very presentable. Now let me say, for example, yeah, I could have just thrown them out on the table with no thing under it. You know, take this off. You know, I could have left that off. You know, but look how much it changes when I take it off. Look how much it changes. So see, always try to go and think about, well, if I add one more little cutesy thing to it, you know, and don't break your bank. It's not worth it, you know. But, you know, it might sell a couple more, okay? And make sure, like I said earlier, it's useful for your customer, okay? The first year I did it, I had mostly Christmas stuff. Nobody wanted Christmas stuff that year, hardly. No, they didn't want Christmas stuff, even though it was before Christmas. They wanted other things, and I'm like, well, I don't have other things. You know, and I didn't, you know, you don't know. You just never know. Okay, so don't give up on your things. Have a variety of items. Now, number 7, and we're getting to wrapping this up almost. Have a clearance section. Okay, just like a store. Have a clearance section at your booth. I have one. Customers love low budget items. They look forward to every year coming back. What you got on clearance? You know, oh, I got these over here. They're like $1 or $2. Something you couldn't have sold for 2 or 3 years, just sitting. Let them have it. That's what I say. Let them have it. Take it with you. It's $4. Take it with you. It's $2. You got to work it. You got to on your feet. Like I said, you got to talk to people. You got to engage people. And if they walk by and they're interested, say, hey, I like your shirt. You know, yes. And a lot of them had on cute shirts, you know, and they would kind of glance and they would come back after a while. Like I tell them, would come around, walk around the room, they'd come back. And that's what I told them when I was talking about the beaded pins. I said, well, you know, like for me, I like to walk through the whole place and see. And then you can make your assumption or your decision then. And yeah, if it's something that's really, really you think is going to not be there, you better grab it because it's going to be gone. Okay, set goals for yourself. Number 8, if your list has to be cut short when you're making things for your craft fair, cut the list of items that you can't possibly finish, you can always finish it for another time. Trust me, I do this every year. I set huge goals for myself. I'm going to make all these things, and I've actually cut out, like, I want to say I'm going to make 20 of these or 15 of these, or no, I'm going to make 12 of these, maybe 10 of these, maybe 5 of these. I mean, because realistically, time runs out. Okay. And when it's up, I'll say time's up. And I'll start checking things off my list like I can't possibly make or get to. Because I know in reality, you know, my husband says I'm overzealous sometimes, which means I try to do too many things. Like, and I do because I love making it. Yes, and I love making it. Okay. Now, and that's what I talked about. Make sure your customers know. This is another tip. Number 9. Your audience, your customers know that your items are handmade. And even though I had signs up, like I said, I had to actually tell them. Okay. All right. Now, pricing, number 10. Okay. Put your price tags out on your items, because they get tired of saying, how much is this, how much is this, how much is this. I don't care if it's a little note card, something handmade, something written on. Put it by your product. Write what your product is on it. I would say Cup Cozy, $5. I mean, make it in like a pretty writing, like a red or something, on like a little white. You don't even have to buy them. You can just make them. Fold a piece of cardstock over, whatever. Slip it on that basket. You don't have to be nothing fancy, but they want to see those prices. Okay. Depending on your area, you might have to lower it a little bit, like I talked about. Okay. And also, one of my things, I always put some candy out on my table. Okay. Peppermints, those soft peppermints. People love those peppermints. I put a little bowl right out in front, around in where my big seller items are. They will stop and get that peppermint, then they'll start looking. Okay, so they love it when you also give them little happies to give away with their purchase. It don't have to be costly. It doesn't have to be expensive. I do it by price range. Okay. And if they buy like a $1 item from me, I give them a little happy. Okay, something I probably bought from Hobby Lobby the last year for 20 cents or whatever. I buy a bunch of little things like that just to have for my craft fair. It might be a little bowl of candy. It might be a little cup of candy or whatever. Or give them a bookmark or whatever you got laying on your table. That's what I do. You don't have to do that, but they're going to remember that, and they're going to want to come back to your booth and shop, because it shows that you're appreciating them for buying your items from you. Okay. And also, if the price range, like if they buy more things from me, I'll give them 2 or 3 things, or I'll give them one of my higher items. Like, I'll just give it, like, here, take this with you. This is yours. I appreciate you being my customer, and you know, and sell and purchasing from me, and enjoy, and because I want them to enjoy my items. Okay. Bend a little on your pricing. Get to know your customers well, and be proud of what you make, your talent, and don't be hard on yourself. And mostly important of all, be proud of yourself. Okay, that's my number one thing. If you're proud of what you do, and you're going to smile at your customers, talk with your customers, engage with your customer, be proud of your product, be proud of yourself, and most of all, enjoy it. You know, enjoy what you do. Okay. And so basically, and other things, you know, just make sure you have nice little baskets to put your things in. You can go to the Dollar Tree and get them. They don't cost much. Make sure you get some pretty little cloths, you know, tablecloth, different color things on your table that they can see. If you can go watch my short video, you can kind of tell mine. I'm going to do a better job next year of showing things and slow it down a little bit. But literally, the people, they let them in so quick, and we were trying to get done, but, and that's kind of what happened with that, but I'm going to get better at doing that. But anyway, so, but like I said, be proud of what you do, and don't beat yourself up, and enjoy what you do. But that is pretty much kind of some things that I have done, you know, kind of changing. Like I said, you know, you can think about it, but remember, when you're making something, is this something that they can use throughout the year? Or is this something that they're going to give someone and they're going to be able to use it? There's something that's useful. You know, is this something that, you know, different things. So, but that's what I'm saying. So that is enough of that. But hopefully I'm get this video loaded, and I'm going to try to make another one or two this week before I'm trying to get everything ready to go to the hospital with Jaden. So just remember to say a prayer for him. It's going to be a lot. And I just love you guys so much. I've missed being on here. And just remember, I love you, and God loves you more. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.